So what's up again? It's Guillermo Mata here. Welcome to this webinar. On this webinar, you're going to discover some really cool, amazing technology. We have hundreds and hundreds of people on this webinar. Again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join me here. You guys are in for a real treat. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen with you. Hopefully you can see the whole screen there. And I'm gonna pause it there. So if you could see my screen, I want to make sure. Can you go ahead and give me a 1 in the chat box? I want to make sure that you could see it, because you know, if you can't see it, Mari, Sam, all right, awesome. You all can see my screen, awesome. Let's see here. So we have now over 100 plus people on this webinar. Go ahead and let me know where you're located. Wherever you're located in the world, we had Indianapolis in the house. We had people from Malaysia, Dubai here, Georgia. We had Georgia in the house, UK, Vancouver, Canada. What's up, Canada? We have some more North Carolina people in the house. Awesome. Ohio, Tampa. We have some Tampa. Nice. Welcome. Welcome. San Antonio. What's up, Texas? We love Texas over here. So shout out to Texas, Ireland. Awesome. So James, I'm going to shout out some names really quick before we get started. So Mari, Brian, Jimmy, Chuck, Chris, Reggie, Ken, Carolyn, Tim. We got a lot of people here today. So I'm going to go ahead and stop blabbering and get the show on the road. So when I start these webinars, you know, it's important to me that, you know, you leave with as much as possible, because if you don't leave with anything, then I didn't do my job, right? I took my time and I put these slides together. So it's important to me that, you know, you take some time to get yourself organized, get the notepad ready, get the Google Docs ready. You know, if the little ones are running around, you know, make sure you're in a quiet place so you can focus, you know, so you can focus. We're going to be dropping a lot of great value here. You're going to discover some amazing technology. Please do me the favor, before I start this webinar, hold your questions for the end of the webinar. It's going to be a little complex for me to pause and answer your questions. So make sure to leave your questions for the end of the webinar. And I just seen that we just maxed out, so that's awesome. I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this. I don't want you guys to think I'm making this up. We really did just max out. And there we go. We just maxed out again. So my webinars do max out, man. And, you know, I try to warn everybody, like, look, get it RSVP'd in advance. And, you know, this is just what happens. So I'm going to get myself out of here now. We're going to get started on this webinar. Remember, leave your questions for the end of the webinar. And let's rock and roll. I'm going to remove myself. I'll bring myself back toward the end of the webinar. We're going to do a Q&A. And also, I forgot to mention, got to mention this. Toward the end of the webinar, I'm going to be giving away some awesome prizes. Don't want to talk too much about that right now, but we got some awesome prizes. So you want to make sure to stick around toward the end. All right. It might be you. You don't know. You just never know. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself out of here and expand my screen and rock and roll. Let's do this. So let me see here. Let me just expand my screen and bring it back. Here we go. So on this webinar, you're going to discover an amazing piece of technology, okay? Run mobile device ID geofencing ads on any Android and Apple device, app, desktop, news, blog sites, all programmatically. Like, this is game changer stuff, guys. What you're going to witness today, these are the things that not a lot of people talk about, but you guys know me. I'm going to let you know on how it works, right? So let's get this ball rolling. So as you know, my name is Guillermo Mata. I'm the CEO of Red Twin Media LLC. I'm the CEO of Device ID app, which is this new platform you're going to be witnessing today. On behalf of my core developer, Hassan, and his entire team, I welcome you being here. A little bit about myself. If you don't know, I operate a digital agency community, over 20,000 digital consultants. We focus on expanding our business through the process of business development and technology, okay? And you know, my 10 years of marketing experience has enabled us as a digital company to help more marketers, business owners, startups hassle less and generate more sales worldwide. Okay, so with that being said, let's get this show on the road. So in the US, there's about 275.66 million that have active devices. That's crazy, right? That's like people all in the US. 205 billion app downloads, all on Apple and Android devices. Quick question, and I'm just going to bring the chat back up here. Let me just minimize the screen here. How many of you on this webinar right now have apps on your phone? I have apps right now. I go fishing all the time. I'm, doing a bunch of things. I got business apps on my phone. How many of you? Just go ahead and just put a yes in the chat. You have apps on your phone? Yes. Gaming apps? Okay. You got yoga apps, sports apps. Cool. So a lot of you have apps on the phone. So you definitely want to stick around for this. So 205 billion downloads are occurring as we speak, and those numbers continue to increase. So the beautiful thing about this, and the reason why I'm even sharing this with you, is because within these apps, they are technically considered publishers, all right? So they sign up to all types of sites. They register as a publisher, and what they do is it's kind of like what Google does, okay? You know how Google, you do the AdWords thing, you get the banner on your site. Well, they do the same thing on their apps because they got to get paid. They got to keep the apps running, so they put the banner on their site, and that gives you, the marketer, the opportunity to run your ads, okay? So those numbers continue to increase, and man, like the stats are looking crazy nowadays. The average time that a person spends on their smartphone every day is around 2 hours. 2 hours. Like, geez, that's a lot of time, right? To be on the phone. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. These days, I spend a lot of time on the phone. Like on the phone, I'm searching, I'm running ads, so I'm always on it for a variety of different things. 69% of internet users prefer to look for reviews on their phones than approach an in-store employee. Well, that's a fact. That is a fact. I mean, how many of you do that today? Go ahead and put that in the chat. Yes, just go ahead and put those yeses. I do the same. Before I go to a restaurant with the family, before I go out shopping, anywhere. I go right online first, but the first place I'm going to is my phone, because I'm not going to turn on my laptop and then have to wait for it to turn on my desktop. It takes too long. So that's what the average consumer is thinking too. And hopefully that's clear. Like they're thinking, okay, this is accessible, it's right there, so let me just search for those reviews. Okay, so 6 out of 10 shoppers say they possibly shop via the mobile device. It's important. Okay, so it's an important factor when selecting a brand. 6 out of 10. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So mobile clearly is something that isn't to be ignored. It's just not. Desktop traffic is still relevant, but isn't as strong as it used to be. Like I remember about 5 years ago, desktop traffic it was super cheap, because it was like it was just affordable. Not a lot of people were paying attention to their mobile devices, so it was just a whole different ball game. So desktop shouldn't be the only source you depend on. And I made that mistake back in the day. Like I used to run ads and I would only run my ads on desktop because my brain would say, all right, we're just gonna run desktop ads, but it doesn't work like that. And you'll learn that on this webinar. I'm gonna showcase that all to you, today, like why you should diversify, why you should be choosing other channels as well. So mobile traffic, okay, accounts for 52.6% of global web traffic, okay, and that's just mobile today, and those numbers continue to increase, okay, like they just keep going up. But regardless, when accounting conversions, we've learned that you just cannot stick to one type of device. The truth is, you have to mix it up and diversify. Remember how I was saying earlier, like I used to, go with one source. You have to mix it up, go with mobile. And you could do that in many different areas. Like you could do mobile on, for example, on Google Ads because you're getting a cheaper CPC. And then you could do desktop in another platform, maybe like Bing, because they're affordable, right? And then like there are other variables that you have to account for as well. Like you have to account for, your leads, like where are they, So you got to kind of test and see where they are, like where they're browsing and searching from. You have to account all these variables before you can really justify as to, all right, I'm going to go with this source and that source. So usually I spread it out till I get the answer that I'm looking for. Hopefully that makes sense. So most of our desktop conversions didn't come just because of desktop alone. It was due to the fact that our leads kept seeing our ads on desktop, later converting via mobile. Like this happened to us a lot, like even before, like back then, like, we've seen this happen multiple times, like where leads would see our ads on desktop, but a majority of the time they're converting on mobile. It's crazy stuff. So I've got all the proof to share with you in just a bit, like showing you some real facts. Like this actually happens to me a lot. We've had leads that within 1 or 2 weeks, sometimes a month, converted because they kept seeing our ads on desktop, most of the time, on mobile devices. Um, this all has to do with the ad attribution process. There are many factors, again, that attribute to a conversion. And it's not just because Joe seen your ad on their desktop on their Facebook. They're also seeing it in other areas, and that encourages them to take action. So allow leads to continue to watch your ad is what I'm saying here. Keep your eyes on the impression count. And hopefully you're taking notes as I'm speaking and I'm sharing these things based off real results. This is a screenshot here, quick little snapshot. 102 impressions, 41 views. 400 impressions, 2 clicks. You have to measure a lot of these things. So what do you measure? Just a quick question. What do you measure before ending an ad campaign? Just go ahead and let me know in the chat. What are you measuring? I know this is a tough question, but what are you measuring before you just completely say, all right, I'm just gonna end this campaign because it's just not working out. Okay, so some of you are looking at clicks. All right. What else are you looking for? Too many impressions. All right. Well, sometimes with impressions is good. Views, ROI, time on the site. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? So we're doing the same thing here too, but back in the day, I'll be completely honest, I wasn't doing any of that. I was just shutting down ads because I thought, all right, well, I'm not getting enough clicks, so let me end this campaign. Doesn't work like that, guys. Like even when the numbers start to spike a little bit, right? Like they start to go up and you're like, wait a minute, I haven't even generated a sale here. There's a process that most algorithms take, and there's a learning process. There's like when you submit your ad to any of these platforms, they all take the similar approach where when you submit your ad, they got to learn it. They got to they're scanning your site, they're scanning your content. They're seeing how many keywords you're using. They're seeing what demographics you're looking to go after, the location. I usually give it about a week. So give yourself about a week before you completely, a week or two. All right. So the lucky number is 2 weeks. All right. So 2 weeks, 1 week to 2 weeks to really measure out like what you need to do next. You can't just run an ad one day and then just say, all right, I got too many clicks, so let me move on. Okay. So hopefully that's clear. So here's some of my results. Check this out. It'll blow your mind. And this is what I was saying in my email, like being completely honest with you guys. Desktop views, 32,929 views, right? Look at this. One person converted. Like I'm showing you right here. I'm just going to get my pointer right here. One person converted. But then look at mobile. 43 conversions. So what does that tell me? That tells me that I need to start paying a bit more attention to what's, mobile. Okay, so how do we do that? Bring up that ad spend a little bit. You can distribute more of your funds onto that area if that's making any sense. So you see what I'm saying here? Like, hopefully this is all making sense. Diversify is what I'm saying here. Don't just keep your spend on one location. Don't just focus on, mobile till you really figured it out, till you really figured that this is where a majority of your conversions are coming from. Okay, so you spend less on desktop, you put more of your funding toward mobile because that's where your conversion is coming from. And this is just my example. Look, again, like it works different for many different verticals. I'm just giving you a full, clear, vision on what to look for when you're running your ads. Measure these things, man. They're so important. Okay, so you can see here that my conversions did not come from my desktops. It just so happens that a lot of people were seeing it on desktop and about 43 of them converted on mobile. So in case you don't know what cross-device conversions are, as Google says here, cross-device conversions are conversions that are counted when a customer interacts with an ad once on one device, then converts on a different device or browser. Okay, so they seen your ad in one location, but the actual conversion occurred in a different location. It's crazy. It's crazy. So an ad basically influences the person. So they might have seen your ad scrolling on Facebook or Google, ignored it, but then they seen it again when they were comfortable at home on their mobile device, and then said, all right, well, I'm comfortable, I'm ready to go, no problem, I can pick this up. So keep, be on the lookout for this stuff. Although we saw plenty of conversions using traditional outlets, it wasn't necessarily the cheapest, cost-effective, and just long-term plan, that we could hold on to. And just being honest here. Here's what a typical campaign would look like for us. Okay, going back to the facts, you see it here. You guys know I'm not making this stuff up. I'm all about transparency here. Look at this, 43 conversions on mobile, but yet I had all these impressions coming from desktop. Look at all of these conversions here. These are all my snapshots, over 419 conversions. Guys, like, it's a fact that when you give, this is what I'm saying, give yourself about a week or two, spread it out, you know, spread it out. And I'm going to help you through this presentation. I'm going to just give it all to you on how to do it. Work it out, spread it out. Try Google, Facebook, and measure it, see what's working, for you. So this is what ended up working for us. We ended up finding out that a lot of our conversions were coming from mobile, from particular apps that we were just blown away from. We're like, oh, hold up. We need to put our attention on this particular app. And what happened? Boom. We started seeing crazy conversions, like just being completely honest. But the reality is, when you're working with these big networks, they like to take a huge chunk because they got to run your ad. They have to accumulate that data. And that is a fact. So we were seeing 45 to 65% take. And that's pretty good when you're dealing with like these corporate, outlets like Google Ads. I mean, no offense, but CPCs, $2 to $3. Okay. So to me, I mean, for some of you, you're probably thinking like, gee, actually, that's not that bad. But to me, I don't know. I'm not comfortable paying $2 to $3 every single time for a click. We need a better deal than that. So enormous amount of competition you have to account for as well when you're dealing with these algorithms. Spikes causing budget to overspend. It was just a lot. I showed you guys the screenshot on my last presentation, but this is a fact. When you're dealing with outlets like this, I'm just bringing awareness to this, that you just have to be careful. So start off very small. When you're dealing with what we like to call corporate algorithms, you have to account not only your competitors, but also meet the demand and adjust. As I mentioned, you got to account competitors, you got to account for, trends and all of this stuff it's just crazy after a while. Yeah, and you can't forget about your ad campaign itself. That holds all of the value, your ad creative, especially, okay? So here I'm just going to talk a little bit about, some things that you should look out for when you're, creating your ads. Keep your creatives minimal. Don't add too many. If you're using video, images, keep it very minimal. It could be like an image of a human smiling. Keep it basic. By doing this, you allow algorithms to quickly review and approve your ad. When you have a bunch of text going on in your ad, it doesn't matter what outlet you're going to, you have to account for that. That usually gets scanned all automatically. So You know, these networks don't know what you're putting on these images. So you have to be clear. Keep it simple, you know, keep it simple. This was just a good example I wanted to share with you guys of a pretty simple campaign, okay? So look at this headline: explore our selection of local favorites, $0 delivery fee for your first month, $10 minimum order, terms apply. They got emojis going on here, beautiful, I love it, simple. It's a video, but the video is super short and it's quick, okay? And then they have this little catchy headline: $0 delivery fee for your first month. It's very catchy, very simple. You know, it's not too much text going along when you got to expand and read. It's just it's too much, too much. So keywords. Start with one keyword per campaign, scale over time using similar keywords. Add them slowly as they come, as the results come in. Okay. So one of the biggest mistakes I've seen my own students make is when they would show me their ad campaigns, but you know, they got all of these things going on, you know, all these keywords, you know, that just weren't relevant. So start with one keyword. Okay. So if you're dealing with guys in the auto industry, let's say you're dealing with a mechanic, right? Uh, tune up, right? Car tune up in Dallas, Texas. Start small, use phrases, okay? Just as I mentioned here, lawyer in Dallas, Texas. And you could use variations. Start with one. If you start to get some traction, you're getting some click action there, use a variation of that phrase. Making sense, right? So I want to make sure you all are still with me. Just go ahead and give me a 1 in the chat box. I want to make sure that you're all still with me. Remember that, okay, awesome. Mari, Robert, Greg, awesome. So let me bring myself back here. So yeah, use variations of key phrases. You're dealing with salons. Find out what that specialty service is for that salon, you know, and just use variations. Keep it simple. You could use Google's keyword tool as well. I use it all the time. This is a great way to really measure, you know, keywords and where they are. If the competition is too high, too low, we use this all the time. So definitely scale that out. You could even scale that out within our platform. As a matter of fact, you can use Google Ads Keyword Planner with along with our platform. So you have ad groups as well that you have to account for as well. One ad group per campaign is always best. I've seen people create like multiple ad groups with multiple keywords because they were encouraged by so and so. Don't do that. Just keep it simple. Keep it one keyword, one ad group, and take measurements. Give yourself about a week, see what's going on. All right. So if you see that in the first day you're getting a bunch of clicks, super good CPC, good impressions, then add a variation on a separate ad group and measure it out. Okay. The only time you should have multiple ad groups is when you've managed to find out that one is doing really well for you. Okay. So opt out of other channels. Very important. Within Google Ads, within Bing, within a lot of these platforms, when you're creating your campaigns, they have these little check marks that if you don't uncheck them to get third-party traffic and things like that, they'll send you a bunch of traffic from random areas that you never even asked for. This is the type of stuff that causes over deliveries, okay? And you don't want that, okay? This is key because traditional outlets will pour traffic you never asked for, causing a complete wipeout of your entire budget. It's happened to me. It's happened to me. Okay, so there's a screenshot that this stuff does happen. Apparently, one of these guys out there were running Google AdWords shopping campaign, and this is from Reddit. So they went on like trying to figure out how to fix this thing. And I'm going to showcase to you how you resolve this, how you stop over deliveries. So hopefully you're still listening to me, you're following along with me. I'm going to share with you how you can prevent this stuff from happening so it doesn't happen to you. All right. You can see it here, another person, same thing. Ads over delivered is just too much. So here's how you can resolve that. You set automated rules. You can do this within your Google Ads. I can't go into that right now just because I'm presenting, but I could, we talk about that later, but set automated rules. You can set rules to stop at a particular time. And it tells you here, automated rules let you make changes in your account automatically based on settings and conditions you choose. You can change your ad status, budget, bids, and more. So basically what this does is it prevents your ad from being overspent without any technical stuff. All right. So definitely note that. Set automated rules. If you go when you go into your ads account, click on those three little dots and you'll see it. You'll see exactly how to set those up. And you can see this is quick screenshots. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, definitely make sure you do that. But this is exactly how you do it. You sign into your account, you go into your campaigns, ad groups, keywords, click on the three dots, and then you proceed from there. You create an automated rule, select the budget so it doesn't get overspent. So you should be really doing a lot of these things before you run your campaign. You obviously don't want to run your campaign first and then do this because it's going to be a headache. So do this first and then start working on your campaign. Prepare, prepare. Even if you got to write it down, just prepare. And this is another script that not a lot of people like to talk about, but you can use this script as well to prevent spikes. All right. What you do is you go into your bulk actions, just like you see here, and you go on scripts and you put this piece of code right here. This piece of code. I know a lot of you are gonna ask for this code, so if you want access to it, I'll make sure to share with you toward the end. But this piece of code is pretty cool because what it does is it's like instead of doing any of like the automation rules, this is a piece of code that it just focuses on pausing ad groups so they don't, so like it'll pick up when your ad is about to be overspent. So before it goes that far, it'll basically stop it. So that's a golden nugget there, okay? Just leaving you with that. Keep that in mind. So look, I'm not saying again, traditional outlets, they work, but they require a lot of work, especially, when it comes to mobile and all that stuff. We just felt the need to make the transition, so we kept, planning. And if we kept advertising with sources such as Google, the reality is it only meant the following. It meant an unrealistic amount of time, painful campaign process with zero ability for us to target device IDs directly using direct sources. Okay. And this is another big one. I showcased this in the last presentation, but $50,000 minimum spend. There's a whole lot of variables. There's a whole lot of things that you can't do, So they basically want you to spend 50 grand before you could start retargeting and doing all that fun stuff that some of you like to do. So we had to break away, reapproach how we were doing our advertising. We knew mobile converted on most of our offers. So we poured lots of energy into planning, research, and exploring what was possible using mobile device identifications. The end result was a massive platform with 40 different traffic exchange sources and the ability to target mobile IDs. This is basically the result. What I'm saying here, this is what ended up happening after all of this stuff that we were doing. We were just like, we had enough. We had to move on. So, it wasn't easy, but thankfully we have something solid here that's been working for us. So it was all worth it, and you'll see a little later. So now that you got a clear picture on why we went about building our own device ID ad platform, let's dive into device IDs. Every mobile phone has a unique device ID number. It kind of looks like this, okay? You all can access this. You can go into your Google Play Store, you go into your settings, and you'll see this, your device ID. This is usually encrypted. So this is basically what I'm saying here. When you go and install an app, to them, they can't really see your device ID. They can see an encrypted version of your device ID, which then they can use to basically run ads to you for a variety of things that you may not even realize. So this is the device ID there, okay? The number is associated with the carrier of the device. So if you buy a phone right away, it's locked in with Google Play or your Apple Store, it's locked in automatically. So, this is how applications basically are able to run ads to you. So moving on, Device ID ad technology takes advantage of IDs by monitoring the location information, habits, search activities associated with each device. No Wi-Fi needed. I want you to keep that in mind. Like, that's crazy, right? Like, just the fact that you can have a device, go to the mall, and it doesn't matter if you go to the mall, you go to a business event, I can still send you an ad. That's just, and even your habits. Like, let's say you're into sports, you might see more sports related ads. Okay. And that's all fed to us, the marketer. Hopefully, we've done our due diligence so we can actually, find out how to get that ad to you, So cookies just don't compare. Let's take a look. Cookies deal with what we like to call probabilistic data. So they'll tell you, oh, okay, well, they're estimated to be between 20 and 40 years old, likely married, San Francisco. We don't have the email. We don't really know their online behavior, but we do have an in-market, you know, you could target in-market travelers, and Facebook does this, guys. You guys seen this, right? Like, but when you're dealing with mobile IDs, it's a different ball game because I know where you're located. I know what you're into. You've I know all of this stuff about you without even really having that data. Just because I have your device ID, I'm able to basically determine what you're into. So it beats having to specify all of this information that you probably don't even know, right? Think about it. like like I know most of you don't know this stuff, right? Like I don't know. I got millions and millions of device IDs right now. And let me tell you, I don't know what they all do, but my algorithm does. My new platform does. So it's a different ball game over here. So, for example, a consumer may start their day conducting a product search. I'm going to give you a visual, right? A product search from within their mobile browser. From that search, they may be deep linked into a retailer's app installed on their device. When a consumer arrives home that night, they may continue their product search perhaps on a tablet where they ask a friend via a messaging app for additional recommendations. Finally, at the end of the day, having chosen a particular product, the consumer searches a retailer's app. Look, man, look, all I'm saying is this. I'm going to give you the visual because I could sit here yapping all day. Check this out, right? So this is how it works. Like you have cookies and things like that. This is what I'm saying. You want to diversify so you can capture those cookies. And also, you have those IDs already, so you can intermingle those two. So let's make up, for example, this is just a lead here, right? So they went into their browser, they did a product search from their mobile device, they clicked on a sponsored link to download a particular app, right? And then they went on a tablet and they continued searching and searching and searching. By 8:50, they started talking about it with one of their friends on a messaging app. And then around 10 p.m., they, returned to the app where they would serve more ads. And then the end result is basically that person ended up, going in store to make that purchase. So you see what I'm saying here? This is why mobile is huge, because a lot of these activities are happening on the device at the same time. Simultaneously, you're collecting cookies, you have that device ID, so you're able to basically run that ad to them. Okay, so all activity is monitored on devices. This information is compiled by private traffic exchanges, stored on the cloud, and made available for marketers to leverage so that they can target consumers. You won't hear about this stuff publicly just because you won't. Most people just want you to go to Facebook or Google because it sounds good. We have access to all of this data. And when I say we have access to all of this data, all of this, like I can take an ID right now, I can take your ID, add it to my system, and run ads to you without even knowing what you're into. Okay, so getting access to this type of data for you to turn your ads, for you to run your ads, excuse me, is extremely expensive. Most shy away from it, choosing to go the traditional route due to cost. And that's just the reality. So for this portion of the presentation, we'll take a look at other device ID providers. Although you will find very few device ID targeting platforms, you'll also find that they are not within price range. And actually, when I was sending out the emails notifying you about all this platform, I had a couple of people write me back stating that they found one, but this one was very expensive. And I'm going to talk about that one platform. All right. So let's take a look at a few examples here. So you have AdCelerin. I actually had a talk with these guys, I had a big meeting with them. And let me tell you, not the most affordable. You're looking at about 5 grand per campaign. And you also have to maintain a balance with them of about 10 grand. Okay. Not downplaying them. I think they're cool, nice guys, but for what we like to do, we like to scale up, man. Like, and if you're a smart marketer, you know what I'm talking about. So Data Dynamics is another one. Data Dynamics also does device ID targeting, but they require evaluation, 10K per campaign fee. Not anything that we were interested in. If anything, we were interested in trying to tap into the source that they had. Okay, El Toro is another one. They actually are a big player in the game, 25 grand. This is a type of, technology that, to be completely honest, a lot of people want, but, can't afford. So they try to scale up as much as they can. But, that's not anything that we're doing over here. Long story short, we got access to the data, and, I'll talk about that a little later. So this is what you have to be careful with when you're dealing with companies like El Toro, Data Dynamics, AdCelerin. You deal with this type of stuff. This is actually an individual who ran a campaign with one of these people, one of these companies, spending about 10 grand, basically not getting anything in return. Like, it's just bananas. This is what I'm saying. Like, when you're a smart marketer, you know that you have to, we got to scale up. Like, we don't start with huge budgets like that. We never do. So on average, advertising campaigns, we normally start small and we scale up. 10,000 upfront with no data, that's just not real to me. Here's how we manage our ad spend. I may set a budget of $1,000 for the month, starting with a standard ad budget for around $1 to $5 per day. Literally, $1 to $5 per day. That's it. Okay. So you don't have to go crazy, budgeting, you know, for your campaign, allocating 10 grand. That just doesn't make any sense. All 100% based on measured traction. So we measure and then we account, the budget, how we're going to scale, what we need to adjust. Okay, so the only time we scale down or pause a campaign is when the traction just isn't there. Not all campaigns are the same and require testing all the time. With device ID targeting, it is a lot less complicated because you're dealing with less variables and easier campaign process. So for this portion of this presentation, we'll take an in-depth look at an Apple Android device ID manufacturers, and we're going to look at some facts. So this here, I know this looks like a bunch of code, but these are identifiers for Apple and Google. Okay, these are basically, what IDs look like when you unwrap them. Okay, so most apps out there, this is what they see basically. Usually it's an encrypted number. They don't see the actual device ID. What they view is more of an encrypted version of your ID. So moving forward, a device ID is a string of numbers and letters that identifies every individual smartphone or tablet in the world. It is stored on the mobile device and can be retrieved by any app that is downloaded and installed. Apps typically retrieve the ID for identification when talking to servers. In context, mobile advertising, a device ID will be one of the two things. Depending on your operating system, the device ID will either be used as the identity which advertisers, marketers, and other services will track when looking for a particular type of device or for services in or Google Play. All right. So for iOS, in short, you can find these on, if you have an iOS, they're defined by IDFA, Identity for Advertisers. On Android, it's GPS ADID, Google Play Services ID for Android. Okay, so this is what a lot of these exchanges use to, to run ads and so on and so forth. So device IDs are the easiest way to identify mobile users as they allow you to track individual devices. This not only reveals certain user behaviors, which can be aggregated to identify trends, but also allows you to put users into cohorts based on understood identifiers such as geographic region or device. Essentially, if you're able to track users' device ID, you're able to create a much better picture of how they behave. All right. So here's who's leading when it comes to manufacturing of, devices. So you have Android that's, crushing it, and number two, you have Apple devices. Okay. So these are the mobile apps leading right now. You have Facebook, Facebook Messenger, YouTube. These are just all the leading, Snapchat, Instagram, and so on and so forth. All right. Why am I sharing this with you? Because it pertains to the apps. There are guys that create variations of these apps and run ads within those apps. That's why I'm sharing all of this stuff with you, because it is just super, super important for you to know. A consumer with a single device can have multiple app IDs. Okay. They are all, however, synced with the primary source rooted device ID. The root ID will be encrypted due to regulations. So this is pretty much, I know I'm talking a lot of technical stuff here, but this is what it looks like when you install an app to the developers. So it's usually encrypted. They don't see all the stuff that you see. They see something completely different. Okay. So this is the actual encryption, IDs that the exchanges use essentially. So let's dig a little deeper. So let's see how mobile compares to desktop in 2020. So mobile usage versus desktop usage comparison shows that 58% of multiple device purchases use mobile to close a sale. And that's a fact. You got it all here. Number two, 50.48% of traffic is mobile and 46.51% is desktop. Okay. According to the stats surrounding mobile versus desktop traffic in 2020, this is facts, 2020, most internet traffic comes from mobile. All right. So you got that all there. So 50% of B2B queries are made on mobile devices. You got it all here. At the moment, 50% of B2B inquiries are made through smartphones. By 2020, as many as 70% of B2B inquiries will be made through smartphones, according to B2B versus desktop. So again, I'm bringing more attention to mobile because it matters. So who is leading here? So when looking at the two and comparing data, mobile is now a leading source of the internet traffic in the US. So people are spending more time and more time staring at their smartphones, basically. All right. So paying attention to these trends are vital, is what I'm saying here. And hopefully everything here is making sense to you now. It's coming into sync. Because the truth is, it is, you like it or not, it's where most purchases are happening. But regardless, as I mentioned earlier, testing is always key. And you got it here, mobile, the mobile search ad revenue in the US is expected to reach 2.55 billion in 2022. So what does that say? It's just we're showing you here, a lot of things are already changing, and this just shows you where things are headed. So businesses are catching on to the trend, all right, but not fast enough because some of them are still using old school sources. So mobile search advertising spending in the US will grow to 37.43 billion. Okay, so it just continues to grow. So what does this mean? Diversify your sources. Video ads are seen as 70% on mobile devices. All right, so YouTube versus desktop usage figures. So show that mobile devices have won this battle hands down. Almost 3/4 of all content on the video sharing platform is seen on mobile devices. So there you go, like YouTube videos and stuff, 70% of these videos are being seen on your mobile device. This is why I'm saying mobile, you got to focus on the mobile. And Google is stating the same. Google found that video ads viewability was significantly higher among mobile users, 83% than desktop. Huge. That's huge. Huge. So will it be over for desktop soon? The answer to that is no. Okay, because technology continues to evolve and things change. So, however, based on these trends, it is clear that the shift is in motion and happening quick, forcing us as marketers to adapt. So what does a quality mobile ad look like at the end of the day? For this portion of this presentation, we'll go over mobile creatives and advertising smart, so you spend less and get more out of your ads. Okay, so we'll take a look at this example. Nice and big, nice big image. Okay, you can do some of these ads. Actually, you can do this type of ad within our platform. I'll show you a little later, but you can do full screen ads. But why am I showing you this? Because it's a catchy image. There's a button in the middle. It's nice and red. It says watch now. Simple text, right? Watch a video to unlock a new character. Boom. Nice and simple. Little red button. You're done. Okay, full screen ads like this just produce massive responses like this here. Like you see this one here, this is going to take you straight to an in-app game download. Okay, this is actually an entire image here. This ad works pretty well as well. It looks like you're getting ready to install something, and but it's just an image. That's all this is. This is just an image, guys. All right. Then you have video ads. um, Everything is just catchy at the end of the day. All right. So look at Dunkin' Donuts, what they did here. I appreciate what they did here because they're essentially encouraging their customers to, buy and redeem coupons, for using, you know, if they decide to, go in and, take action and so on and so forth. So all catchy, right? Super simple. And how they do it is pretty cool. Like they're using their top selling items. Like apparently they serve pancakes and they got a bunch of other stuff like coffees and stuff. I mean, come on, who doesn't like a coffee in the morning, right? So there you go. And you see them all here within the apps. So yeah, so Doritos uses a variety of different features in their creatives, hashtags, social, and giant buttons for you to click on easily. All right, so you see it all here. So what am I doing and what am I saying here? I'm inspiring you to get creative with your ads, but at the same time, keep it creative. This is just one giant image with a button. This is just another image, and this one is just a video. All right, everything should be catchy, but at the same time, very simple, but not too much. All right. So example 5, this is a great approach for paper callers. This ad creative uses very bright colors, bold letters, making it super easy for potential customers to call using click to call. We've seen ads like this almost look like opt-ins, and when you click, it takes you over to a mobile only site where the potential lead can sign up. Okay. So this is basically a click to call ads. You can do this with our platform. You can absolutely do this, and it's in one of our publishers' site, which is CNN. But you notice that this ad says 2-year, right? TV price lock before it's too late. They got a number here. Click, and then when you click, it's a phone number, right? So this is good for paper callers as well. So keep that in mind. And this is the example I was saying earlier, where there there's just some ads out there that look like images. You click them, they redirect you to an opt-in to capture that phone number. So yeah, so let's not forget native ads. Native ads with our platform, if the device can't be spotted, we'll run programmatic ads to both news feeds, news sites, blogs, and we'll attempt to find them on desktop. The goal here is for us to bring them back to their phone. Okay, just like this one here. This is actually one of our publishers, HuffPost. This gentleman here did an awesome job. Check this out, right? Remember how I was saying keep your images simple? Look, it's just him smiling. He obviously is a trader. It's just him smiling, background trader. How he made 2.1 million. All right, there you go. And then check this out. It goes into an advertorial. Very smart. There are some WordPress plugins out there that where you can redirect the traffic. Okay, you can redirect some traffic to advertorial landers, or you can redirect in a bunch of different places here. But he sent them over to an advertorial here. The reason why he did that is because most people who are landing on this site are reading. They're looking to read, and eventually, they'll take action. So that's what he did here. Smart guy. When you clicked on this link, it'll take you to a landing page. Super simple, right? Anybody can do this. Super easy. The approach works completely different when compared to mobile banners. So let's take a look at a few examples. So notice how catchy these images are. Look at this one here for Coca-Cola, Freestyle 100. You have here 25% off. The next episode in streaming music, right? Nice and simple, simple background, but at the same time, catchy headline. Look at this one here. BMW did an awesome job, super catchy headline, likely aiming to promote a vehicle upgrade. Look at this one here. You suck at driving. How to use ABS brakes properly, and so on and so forth. So when you click on this ad, it took you over to, where they broke everything down on their blog and a bunch of other cool stuff. It's just an upgrade, all right? So moving on, here's another one here. For their default image here, this is a video. They have a picture of a hamburger. And then on the headline here, it talks about loving bacon. All right, so it should be catchy at the end of the day. So for this portion of the presentation, we'll be going over device ID, ad exchanges, and how it all works programmatically. I just want to make sure that you're all still with me. So if you're still with me, go ahead and comment 1 in the chat box. I want to make sure. Just go ahead and comment 1. Keith, Brian, awesome, awesome, awesome. And I know you guys have a bunch of questions, so I'm gonna, don't forget, still got to the end of the webinar. Gonna answer all of your questions. So again, let's dive into device ID exchanges. Works very similar to our last platform. Some of you have it. So there's 2 sides. We're on the demand side where you can make all your requests. So let's dive right into it. So you got the demand side platform, right? Hyperlocal, you can do all your targeting here. You got the ad exchange, and then you got the supply side platform, the SSPs, and your DMP, which is your data management platform. That all happens on our end. You don't really speak to the ad exchange only when you submit your ad. Okay, when your ad is submitted, it gets submitted to the supply side platform, which you don't see, but basically the supply side platform, guys, it's like your apps, it's the premium blogs like your CNN, NBC, HuffPost, TechCrunch, and a lot of those big guys out there. So that's how it works. So don't forget, supply side platform is connected to the exchange. Publishers are vetted in a way that's advanced before they can run banners and apps and so on and so forth. So basically what I'm saying here is that like our exchange is not just approving anyone to just run ads, they're vetting them, they're asking them questions, I mean, they're dealing with big guys like TechCrunch, so they don't just approve anyone. So here's a technical visual simulation on how it all works, right? So you have your ID, clicks on the ad, install the app is installed. You can run ads to that person just over and over and over and over. Nice and simple. So geofencing is all part of that process. So it doesn't matter. Like these folks could be in like a whole entire college. They could be, so like you could take a whole, like let's say you have a bunch of, for some reason, you made a connection and you have a bunch of college emails for people over at Duke University, right? So you can upload that to our platform and then you could run ads to them, kind of like the ones you see here. All right. So what our platform will do is it'll take that email and then it'll try to make that connection for you using the database, which is over 1 billion. Okay, they have a huge database, it's humongous. But again, there's nobody that's doing this. Using email to find device IDs, nobody's doing that right now. So with our technology, not only can you target device IDs, you can also target physical locations such as events, campuses, hotels, locations with zero Wi-Fi network or IP needed. IPs are good, don't get me wrong, but you don't need any of that for this. So you're ready to start running device ID ads on sites like TechCrunch, HuffPost, The Score, which has about 150K users. It's a big site now. I mean, it's a big app. Wattpad's 3.8 million users. Discover more in a sec. So let's do this. So I want to dive into this and dive right into device ID app, mobile device ID advertising. Super excited. So Device ID app is a platform focused on mobile device ID advertising, geofencing technology. It was built for marketers and businesses of all levels. We understand how frustrating it can be to run ads with traditional outlets. We made it super easy and simple for you to target your leads using 40 different exchanges with over 900 billion impressions, resulting in massive conversions, clicks, and views, all due to our premium publishers, applications, blogs, and news sites. Uber, MGM, Pizza, CBS, Walmart, BMW, Red Bull, Southwest Airlines are all using this private exchange, and some of the big guys out there. This is actually our exchange partners. Okay, right into the source, going right into the source. 40 plus exchanges. Come on, guys. Like these are the guys that we've teamed up with making this possible. These are now your partners. Okay. So let's talk about features. So you have the ability to track it all. You have the device ID app, track all your campaigns all in one dashboard, including campaigns, active and inactive clicks, impressions. Device ID app DSP, you're getting access to 40 traffic exchanges with over 100 premium publishers, apps, news sites, and blogs. Device ID app, you can upload an unlimited amount of device IDs, cold, warm, or hot, all via CSV. You can do the same for emails as well. Upload an unlimited amount of emails for you to target. Device ID app CPM, we use CPM, CPC models. So those are the two that we support. We allow geofencing as well. So we have built-in geofencing using a variety of different components. But moving on, we have an active chat as well. So you can communicate with other members, 10 plus videos for you to go in and embrace. We have a built-in support channel as well. All right. And that's not all. Are you ready to see Device ID app live? If you are, go ahead and leave those yeses in the chat box. Leave me the best comment you got. Leave that in the chat box. All right, so let's rock and roll. Let's get out of here. And I'm going to expand my screen here. So this is the Device ID app. I want to make sure that you guys can see it nice and clear. I'm going to just refresh my screen here. Give me one moment. So you all can see it. Brian Jackson says, yes. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's rock and roll. So right in your dash, nice and simple. We've taken a lot of the things that we've learned and we've just kept applying it. So right up here, you got total device ID campaigns. You click on this button here, it'll take you over to create your campaign. Total device ID ad groups that you create. We divide our ads in 3 segments. So you have your campaign, ad groups, and you have your creative. So you have your total device ID ads and then your balance. All right, we have a really cool chat for you to use for the purposes of networking. This is not a support chat. This is for networking, okay? So let me dive right into everything over here. So I'm gonna go into top up. So we have a top up system here. Works super simple. $25 fee goes to Device ID app. We're giving you the ability to target IDs using email, okay? So there's a $25 fee and there's a $25 exchange fee, all right? So just making that clear there. So let's move on. I'm gonna dive right into campaigns. Gonna dive right into campaigns. So the campaign process is super easy. Here you have your campaign name. You can activate, pause your campaigns, your budget type, the status, objective, bidding strategy, editorial, and then you have your reports here. and I'll show you the reports in a minute, okay? But for this example, I'm gonna go ahead and create an ad for you so you can see it all live. I'll give that 1 second there to load. All right, so I'm gonna call this yes. All right, I'm gonna call this the yes campaign. Our partner networks are networks such as like private apps out there. You have a variety of different browsers. There's a lot of upcoming browsers out there, folks. So I would just leave this on, okay? So you can access those channels as well. You could also target locations, all right? So if you want to target like people out in St. Petersburg, right? Like let's say I want to go Tampa, right? So for my DMA, I'm gonna go with Tampa, St. Petersburg, right? And I have my partner network, so I have more area to scale there. I could turn it off or on, but I'm gonna leave it on. You have your languages there, and then you have your before I dive into age and all that stuff, we support all languages, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world, does not matter. Age, you got that all dialed in, your gender, and your custom audiences. This is where a lot of the magic happens, because if I want to choose this device ID, this list that I have uploaded, I can target those IDs, no problem. And here, this is why I recommend, and I talk about this in the training, splitting up your ads, because if we can't find them within the within the app and or on mobile in general, we could find them within desktop using our other channels, which I just mentioned. Okay, so I usually just keep it on mobile. So this is your native bid adjustment. So we don't disclose our other publishers just because of the agreement we have with the network. So what you can do is like increase your bid for a particular publisher. You'll see them all in your report. So, B, A, 2B, 3A, 3B, you'll see that all in your report, and you could adjust your bid according to which publisher is serving you the best. Okay, so block sites, you can block sites. You can run ads based on a schedule, just like you have here, or you could just run it all types of hours of the day. And you can set your budget here. Bidding strategy, you could choose manual CPC, so it focuses on the clicks, focusing on conversions and maxing conversions, okay? And we support deep linking too, and I dive into that in the training as well. All right, so if you have an app already of any sort, you can definitely use this like crazy. All right, and then for conversion counting, you could do all per interaction. I usually just leave it on here. Then when you submit it, it'll bring you over to your ad group, and I'll dive into that in just a second. I'm just gonna bring you over to keywords. I'm just breaking everything down so you understand how everything works, okay? Just give it a second to load up here. So what you can do here is add keywords to your campaign, right? So I can choose this campaign here and this ad group, and then I could add keywords to it just by clicking keywords. And I'm just gonna click this here. And you can upload an unlimited amount of keywords, but remember, I don't recommend doing that. I apologize about the lag. I am on a presentation here, so but remember, if you paid attention throughout the webinar, remember I was saying that I just don't recommend using multiple keywords, and we really help you out here, guys. Like check this out. Broad match, using keyword and phrases, broad match. All right, so broad is just like a keyword that is just a keyword. You use no brackets or nothing. And we help you out there. Okay, you could do your negative keywords as well. All right, so let's continue to move on here. So let's go into ad groups. All right, so we break down ad groups nice and simple. If you want to go back and edit, you can absolutely edit it, but you got the ad group name here, active. You could activate the campaign on and off, campaign ID. Then you have your CPC, your bid. So you could always go back and edit these just by clicking on the edit button, and it'll bring you back to that. So you can go ahead and edit it, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and go into my actual ads, and I'm gonna showcase that to you here. I apologize about the lag. Let's see here. So you have the title. You can activate that creative or just pause it. So you can create multiple creatives for your campaign. So remember 3 segments. You have your campaign, ad group, and then you have your creatives. This is your creatives here. Okay. So you have the campaign ID. Don't worry too much about these IDs or ad group IDs. These numbers get submitted to the exchange. These are the numbers that are going to go out and find the device ID and all of that fun stuff. Okay. You have the editorial status. You got that all here. And you have the status here, which is important. These ads were rejected, so it's fine. But we have this one that's active. The descriptions, you could always go back and edit them. Add your images and all of that fun stuff. Okay, like you see here, like you have your title. You can upload images, your thumbnail, your descriptions, your call to actions. We actually helped you out here with your call to actions. Just bear with me 1 second while this is loading up. But we give you a bunch of call to actions, okay, for you to use. Like, learn more, watch more video. You can do all of that stuff, all right? So let's go into dot tags because I know this is the part that a lot of you are super interested in seeing. I know a lot of you, are here on this webinar because you wanted to capture those, IDs. That's what this is all about. So you got it all here. So what you can do is generate a new tag, and it works super easy, right? When you click on this here, you can give it a name. So it could be like, John, right? And then you click submit. When you click submit, you get this here. I'm going to show you. You get this little piece of code. I don't want to show this one here just because we're using it. But when you choose this, you put it on your site. And when someone clicks on your link, you could capture that device ID. All right. And you could always go back and edit it. You could do all that fun stuff here. Okay. So this is just an incredible way for you to capture those device IDs like automatically. You don't need a form or nothing of that nature here. All right. So hopefully that's all making sense. So now I know that some of you already have device IDs and some of you have thousands of emails. So we got that all broken down for you here. So when you upload your list, you got it all here for you. Your user count, how many device IDs you have uploaded, and so on and so forth. We allow an unlimited amount of device IDs, an unlimited amount of emails for you to use. All right. So there's no restriction there. Okay. So on top of that, we give you, we have a blueprint that's actually part of our, little bonus that I'm going to break down in just a little bit. But we give you a ton of videos for you to use. Again, I apologize about the lagginess. I am on GoToWebinar. So we give you a bunch of videos for you to use, and we also provide support as well. I'm not done, so I'm just gonna bring my screen back up here. Bear with me 1 second, and gonna bring the presentation back here. I got a lot more to share with you. All right. That's the platform itself. I see that a lot of you are excited. I know you guys are ready to like just get started, but remember quickly, you have this incredible dashboard with the chat, target device IDs using emails. And if you have those IDs, you can use those as well. You got total device IDs up here, your ad groups, your total ads, your balance, your chat, so you can network with others. Everything is broken down transparently. Your campaign name, your budget type, everything is broken down. Your keywords, you can add an unlimited amount of keywords. Remember, 1 keyword at a time is always best. You have your ad groups there broken down. You could always go back and edit those. You have your titles, your campaign IDs, your ad group ID, all broken down there. Your device ID tag, which you would use on your website, okay? And then remember, you can upload an unlimited amount of IDs for you to target, an unlimited amount of emails for you to find those IDs, okay? And hopefully I'm being clear there. So 10 plus videos for you to use as well. So you can always go back and check in on what's going on. And you have support for you as well to use as well. And I know what you're thinking right away, Guillermo, this has got to be crazy, crazy expensive. All right. But the reality is it was for us. It was super expensive getting those meetings going with the exchange, the days and nights. It was worth it because we're here today and we have us an awesome platform. So I completely understand. And I understand clearly what is happening in the digital sphere and how powerful this platform is. And I wanted to share with our guys because I know if it can help me, it can help you 100% as well. So let's talk numbers. I can charge $2,997 for this platform, one-time fee to any local business. But instead, I'm going to let you do that. All right. You can charge that. I'm not going to charge that. This is next level technology. You will not even pay $1,997. Still not too far off our mark with all the value you're getting here. I'm giving you access to a piece of technology that we're using today to target device IDs. You won't even pay $997. You aren't going to pay that either. So if you're ready to rock and roll and you're ready to run device ID advertisements for your clients, $97. As a matter of fact, because we are on this webinar, you're going to save $10 today. All right. And that'll get you access to this platform. So if you're on this webinar and you're still thinking about anything that I just said, you probably shouldn't be on this webinar. I just dropped the link in the chat for you to get access. I'm not done. I have some more goodies for everyone who stood and was a part of this webinar. So $87 is what you pay. No monthly costs, one-time activation fee. That's it, okay? The link is now in the chat, so you can find that link in the chat. We got some really awesome bonuses for those of you who joined us till the end of this webinar. Today only. This is today only. So let's talk fast action bonuses. Okay, so part of the fast action bonuses, you're getting the blueprint, which is essential. I break a lot of good stuff down on here, super transparent, step by step on how you can make the most out of your campaigns using device IDs, generate leads, traffic, and conversions. You get the device ID training, which will be shared exclusively with those of you who took action on those fast action bonuses. I mean, on this fast action link today, like now, excuse me. So I'm going to add something else really, really, really cool. I had a talk with my developer about adding another exchange that we come across on this platform. You're not going to pay for that. So for those of you who act today, you're going to get access to this other premium source. This other premium source is amazing. Don't want to talk about it too much right now, but you'll find out all the deets inside. Again, this is for those of you who take action today only. So let's do a review on all the features. You're getting this incredible platform, device ID app, mobile device ID advertising, track your campaigns all on the dashboard, your active clicks, inactive clicks, impressions, access to 40 plus traffic exchanges in one platform, over 100,000 publishers, apps, news sites, and blogs, device IDs. You can upload an unlimited amount of emails and device IDs, CPC, CPM models. Yeah. GEOFencing technology built in already. So if you have a bunch of college kids that are, interested in marketing and you want to target them, upload it to the platform. That's it. You have the built-in chat as well, so you can communicate with other members. Device ID training. You get the built-in support Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So you get all the support you need. All of that one time, $87. Call me crazy. And let's not forget the bonuses as well. Let's do some Q&A. So I have some questions that I pre-typed up here. So what is the minimum to run a campaign? So we have a low minimum, $25 goes to the network and $25 goes to device ID app. That's it. So $25 would actually be the amount that goes toward your campaign for you to run your ads. Okay. So you're looking at $50. That's it. Not $5,000, not $10,000, $50. If that's too much for you, you should probably exit this webinar. Like seriously, because it doesn't get any cheaper than that. Can we target mobile IDs? Yes, you can target mobile IDs, zero restrictions. can I use email instead? You could use cold, warm, or hot emails. Cold, warm, or hot emails, okay? Will my ads show in apps? Yes. You can select where you want your ads to show. If you choose mobile, your ads will be displayed in apps. If you choose desktop, your ads will show in native mobile, possibly desktop sites. So those are like those news sites like CNN, HuffPost, and many others. There's so many out there. It's just too many to list. So what type of content can we promote? Right away, I'm going to be transparent with you guys. No adult content and no gambling. You can run all types of ads. Just keep away from casino adult type ads. Okay. Although ads are approved programmatically, they do have some restrictions there on this exchange. So we're playing with a bigger exchange here, and even though they're big, they have some tough restrictions. Can we target local areas? You can target local areas with yes, you can target local areas with no IDs, email selected. If you prefer to run branding type ads, you can choose small town, city, or states. What type of ad creatives? You can run this display, video, and standard ads. I'm actually going to show you that in just a second. I'm going to go back, but you can actually do video ads as well and standard ads. So how many exchanges are connected to the platform? We have over 40 exchanges, over 100,000 publishers. So let's get your questions answered live. I know you guys have a bunch of questions, and I'm going to make sure to answer those questions right now. I see that there's a lot of you still on this webinar, and awesome. So let's see here. So Sterling Hall is in. Congrats. Let me go back to all of the questions. Is this newbie friendly? Yes. I mean, it's super easy. Let me actually show you the campaign process really quick. And so good question. So Junior Lanceman is asking, how could I get mobile device IDs? You could get mobile device IDs through other data providers. There are data providers out there that provide mobile device IDs. There are apps that you can get them from as well. You can get them from apps and many other places as well. Can you drop the link? There is the link for you to get access to the platform. Let's see here. How do I target college campuses? So Sterling, so if you're in, like, let's say you're in, you're in Texas, you want to target the University of Texas for whatever reason. You need to have those emails locked in. So those EDU emails, you can upload those to our platform. Right. So just to be clear, because I see there's a couple of questions coming up about geofencing and stuff like that, and I'm going to show you here. That all happens automatically. So you don't really have to, and I hope I was clear about that. You don't have to specify that. Like any details, like you could select the city and state and all that stuff, but that's found automatically. Can we upload our own mobile device IDs? Yes, you can upload your own mobile device IDs. What if I don't have any emails? Then you can buy traffic automatically. So let's say we're going to call this Jimmy, right? For some reason, we're just going to call this Jimmy, right? And I want to target people who are in, let's say, just go back to Tampa, right? Tampa, St. Petersburg area. And if I want to exclude other areas, I can absolutely do that. I'm going to leave this all on. Gender, language, custom audience. I could choose my IDs that I already have uploaded, and then just move on from there. So choose my native bids, add my block sites. For my budget, I could go with 25 and then continue on, click submit, and then it'll take me on to the next. All right. So there's some things that I'm missing out here. So I have to select this one and then it'll take me over. But I mean, that's how simple it is. Once you submit your ad, does this give me access to lists? How would I capture mobile IDs? So you would capture them with our tag right here using this dot tags. You go here. I'm just going to click on it really quick. I'm just trying to answer all of your questions as fast as I can because there's a lot of questions coming in right now. But if you're looking for the link, it's in the description. So this is the code, what it looks like. There you go. I'm gonna close it now, but that's what it looks like. When you open that code, this is the code that you would use to capture those IDs, and they automatically get populated for you to retarget essentially. So I would put this like on your landing page and all of that. So once you submit your ad, you go down into ad groups. All right. Here's where you set up all those details. One thing I forgot to show you, I'm going to go to campaigns really quick, and I'm going to go into reports. So within your reports is generated automatically. So how it works is you would just go, you would select a date and generate the report. When you generate the report, it'll generate it in a CSV for you to download with a bunch of data for you to access. So when you're in here, that's how you would generate your report. Going into the actual ads, let me dive into that really quick. I'm gonna go into edit really quick. So just as I mentioned, so you have your ad group here, right? You would upload your image, 1200 by 627 pixels, upload your square image, your thumbnail, your title, your description, company name, you got that all there. And then you have your call to actions as well, right? Super, super easy. Alrighty. So I'm gonna go into audiences. This is where you would upload all of your audiences. Can I promote cannabis? You might be able to. You might be able to. Absolutely. So Rico Glover is in. Congrats, Rico. Can I use IP targeting app with this platform? Absolutely. Absolutely. Use both of them. You should be using both of them. So Errol is in. Congrats. Congrats. Well, yeah, I mean, Lewis, if you're gonna be using if you're not using any emails or anything like that and no IDs, then um, you would have to specify a location. So the system wouldn't work how it's supposed to, you know? So let's see here. How can we resell the service? Well, there's a variety of ways that you can resell this as a service, and I dive into that in the training as well. So are they strict like Facebook and Google? No, not that strict. They're not like crazy strict like Google, Simmons. Absolutely not. So can you put the link in the chat? Yep, here is the link. Remember, guys, like you're paying $87 one time. And let me open the presentation back up here in case you're still on the sideline. And I'm gonna go back to the platform in just a minute. I want to cover the fast action bonuses because let's see here. All right, so you're getting 3 fast action bonuses. You're getting access to an additional traffic exchange we call Prime, and that'll give you more exposure. You're getting training as well, and you're getting the blueprint, which is included. Okay, that's all in the platform, all within the platform. Absolutely. So let's touch on this really quick because I see that a lot of you have a bunch of questions. So remember, you got your campaign here. You can check if it's active or not. You have your budget, your status, objective, editorial. You could always go back and edit your campaign. Super simple. I apologize about this lag up here. I'm using GoToWebinar, so it loads very, very slow. So you got your partner network, which is simply other outlets for you to use to get more traffic. So if you want to access all 40 publishers, turn this on, is what I'm saying. And I apologize if I wasn't clear about that, okay? So if you want to access all 40 publishers, keep this on. If you turn it on, you're going to have access to just one, okay? You have your locations, your language, your age, your gender. You got that all there for you, okay? All right. So you have your schedule all broken down there. Your budget is all broken down. And then you would head down to your ad group. When you create an ad group, it's a breeze. You go to add, right? I'm gonna go to add really quick while I'm here. And again, I apologize about the lagginess. You would choose your ad. Remember, there's 3 parts to this. So let's say I'm gonna go and edit this one. No, I'm sorry. I wanna add an ad group to this campaign. I would choose this one, give the ad group a name, the average bid, and that's it. I'm done. And then the next phase for me would be just the ad. That's it. All I have to do is just to create an ad. Now, if I want to create multiple ads within, like, let's say, you know, for a particular campaign for whatever reason, I could absolutely do that as well. Let me just close this out here. So let's say I want to create one for this one here, for this ad group, which is connected to my main campaign. I would just upload that and we're ready to go. All right. Super simple. You could also do your click to calls as well. Remember I was saying we gave you a bunch of options. Check this out. You could do record now, use app, remind me. We helped you guys out big time here, man. Like, you don't have to type none of this stuff. Just select it and you're done. Yes, you can do click to call. I see that there's a lot of you asking about click to call. You can absolutely do your click to call as well. And don't forget about support. Do you support political ads? Absolutely. You can promote political ads. Will this work outside of the US? We love everyone over here. So we support all languages. So yes, this works all throughout the United States and overseas as well. Is there a cost to convert emails to device ID? No, that's absolutely free. That's absolutely free. Is this compliant? Yes, this is compliant. 100% is TCPA and GDPR compliant. What is the name of the name of the traffic partner? I'll show them here. I'll just bring them back in the presentation. It's no problem here. And again, the link is in the description. So here is our partners here, AceCom. There are partners. So if it wasn't for these guys, it would not be possible. Just letting you guys know. So shout out to all of these guys. You know what? I'm gonna just drop this on here. This company here provides traffic to companies like AOL, like Yahoo, and even Google. So keep that in mind. I talk about that in the training. Talk about that in the training. But these are the guys that are connected to our exchange. All right. And our platform. Hopefully this is clear. So they're connected to our platform. These are the guys with all the publishers. Absolutely. How can I get it? Is the link here? All right. I'm going to drop the link again. And that is $87 one time. No monthly fee. There is the link. Congratulations to everyone on board. So Australia is in. So congrats, David. David, keep us posted on your success. Can you geofence? Absolutely. That's done automatically, Randall. So Randall is asking if you can geofence. And I apologize if I'm not reading these questions out loud. So Randall is asking if he can geofence like a particular location and address. That's done automatically using the email or device ID. So wherever the phone goes, that's where your ad goes. So they could be in a store, they could be at a restaurant, they could be anywhere, and your ad is going to display. You just need to make sure, look, I think like this is the only con to all of this, right? And I'm being transparent about it, is that you need to make sure the data is clean. Like if you're going to be uploading emails to Target, make sure that that data is clean, because you're dealing with data that's no good. So how do you do that? Verify those emails. Make sure that they're active emails. There are plenty of companies out there that you can use for that. So if you're running into card issues and you're overseas, do me the favor, email us support@deviceIDapp.com. I know some of you are overseas. What you could also do is, yeah, just go ahead and email support at device ID app, device ID app. All right. So Greg Price is in. Congrats. Can we do? Can we target IP ranges? Hey Vic, so that's done for you automatically through their email or device ID. I have device ID, so I'm ready. Awesome. You're out of the game, man. Like it's like it doesn't get any easier than that. Please let us know. Like I'm thinking of, I want to showcase to our community. So if you have device IDs already, please upload them and keep us posted on your progress, please. As a matter of fact, as you're signing in, come into the chat, and I see Mari Kosh is in. Congrats, Mari. Come into the chat and leave us a hello. Introduce yourself to other members, please. That'll be great. But I see that some of you already have device IDs, which is incredible. So you guys should do well. Can you leave the link here? Yes, there you go. Will the system work in Europe? Yes, it'll work in Europe as well. We accept everyone. This is a global platform, okay? So you could use it anywhere, UK, Ireland, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. You could use it here in the US. So if you're outside, go ahead and email support at deviceid.app. All right, yeah, so if you're running into issues with that, definitely reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to help you out. All righty. So the geofencing portion of the platform works way different than your traditional. Like traditional geofencing, you would require that you put coordinates. And I'm actually in talks with my developer about that. Right now, what you can do is just by email or the device ID. I'll show you here. So you would, go according to the coordinates that we have here. Just give this a couple of seconds to load. Is the link here? Please drop the link. There is the link in the chat. I just left the link again in the chat. So if you're looking for it, it's in the chat. All right. So if we want to target, let's say we want to go with let's go with St. Louis, you can absolutely do that. So by doing that, you're just giving the exchange more data so they understand where your leads are. Hopefully you know where your leads are and you'll be fine. Okay, give me one question. 1 second. And we're using DMA, right? So that's short for designated market area. So what that basically means, I know it's a technical term, but it's when you specify that, you're letting the system know that, hey, my leads are in this area. So if you're looking to target, let's say you got a bunch of emails for a particular event and they're happening in St. Louis, in the St. Louis area, you just told the system that the event is in St. Louis, here are the leads, you upload those leads, and so it's going to look for them in that area. So hopefully that's me being clear. I talk about this all in the training. All of this stuff is in the training. Let's see here. I'm on mobile. Let's see there. Can you pause campaigns? Absolutely. You can pause your campaigns. I'm in. Andrew Wells, congrats. Is this the lifetime cost? Yes, Kenneth. Good question. So Kenneth is asking if if that fee is a lifetime cost. Correct. So that doesn't mean that it's going to change later or anything like that. That's the one-time cost. I'm in. Congrats, congrats, congrats. So do me the favor, we got a lot of people in right now. So if you're in, go ahead and leave in the comments, I'm in, and I'll go ahead and I'll shout you out. And you know, just spread the positive vibes during these crazy this crazy pandemic, right? All right, so Robert is in, Jenny is in, Carol is in, Tim is in, Chris says he's been in. Heck yes, I'm in. I love the energy. You guys are awesome. Like this is what it's about, taking action. I mean, like if you're still thinking about that one-time fee, I mean, with all due respect, this is probably not the webinar for you. But look, like I'm hopeful that you know you left with a lot off this webinar. I mean, who did you get a lot off this webinar? Let me know in the chat. Did you get a lot off this webinar? Leave those yeses, leave those comments in the chat. Let me know. I really gave it my all. Like I gave it all I had. You got a lot of heck yes, mind blown, huge, lots of good stuff, traffic gems. Awesome. 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 I appreciate that. And that's what my goal was to give you as much value as possible and educate you. Not a lot of people know about this type of technology. So unfortunately, you know, they end up giving up fast or they don't really, you know, like I've been there. That's happened to me. So that's why we're building these platforms, you know, is to make life a little easier, taking you directly to the source, cutting the middleman out. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. All right. So I promised that I would be no one else is offering this. Absolutely. So you could be the first. You know, go ahead, get on YouTube. Get on YouTube with it. Use that as your title. You know, those are some things that you can do. Position it right. The big view of tracking and targeting individuals throughout the day as they move from device to device is awesome. There you go. Exactly. Exactly. I don't need to say any more. The link is in the chat, folks. The link is in the chat. And I made some promises that, you know, okay, there's a good question coming in. Can we promote cryptocurrency? Absolutely, you can do that. CBD, you can do that here. Just as long, keep all of the, you know, just watch the training. Watch the training. The training is good. I dropped some good stuff on there. Are there a white label for reports? You know, I'm in talks right now with my team about, you know, possibly adding a white label. We've been getting that request a lot on a lot of our platforms. So, you know, we have to see. We have to see if that's possible. We're just taking a lot of the things that we've learned and, you know, just moving a little smarter. We've had some people do some things that we didn't really like with our other white labels, so we have to go back to the drawing board on that stuff. So let's see. Where do you upload emails? I'll show you right here. Give me 1 second. And we have some gifts that we're gonna, not gifts, prizes that we're gonna be giving away. So we're gonna do that in just a second. Here's where you would do it. Eric was asking where you upload emails. Just click on add. I'm just gonna click on this here and show you. So there you go. So you can choose to do your website traffic, which is that code that I just mentioned, remember, that captures the device IDs for you. This is what you can do, all right? For your audiences, you give it a name, and then you go. You can choose Apple, right? And then you can do Androids or emails, okay? You can upload those emails as well. Okay, got it. So what's the minimum? So you're looking at a minimum of 50 bucks. When I run my ad campaigns, they're usually way over that amount. So that's just the cost. You know, the network, it costs us way more to keep this thing up and running, you know? So, all right, so let's talk about prizes. Let's talk about prizes because we got a lot of people here. So how are we gonna do this? Usually, look, I don't plan this stuff out, man. I just give it to you guys and that's it. So for prizes, I'm just gonna pick a random name for the best comment. So you leave the best comment. It doesn't matter what that is. It could be about what you got from this webinar. It could be anything. Let me know what you think about the platform. I'm just gonna pick someone randomly, and I'm just gonna. I got something really cool that I'm gonna be giving away. What I'm gonna be giving away is a $50 paid account to someone lucky here. So, and I'm gonna give it away to 3 people. All right, so 3 of you. I'm gonna pick $50 is going directly into your balance. So you see this balance right here, right here. This is what I'm talking about. This goes into your balance. So who are we gonna pick? So awesome. You guys got a lot of humor over here, I see. So awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead with Greg Price. Greg Price, congrats. So that's our first pick of the day. And I want to go ahead and answer a couple of more questions before we pick our second. So Greg Price, go ahead and leave that comment in the chat over here in the group, and we'll make sure to get you in there. Okay. All right. So any other questions? Any other questions that I might have missed? Go ahead and just drop them now. Happy to answer those questions. Robert Meyer says, "Come on, Mama needs a new pair of shoes." All right. Let's see. That's the attitude to have, Steve. Absolutely. Steve says that he's going to walk to every local shop and sell. Absolutely. All right. So, absolutely. There you go. Craig Price just dropped that comment. So, congrats. Can we have someone else manage this? Absolutely. So, we don't charge per you like your account, right? This is your account. That's it. You just paid one time for everything that you just seen here. So you could have your employees absolutely run these ads for you. So if you have an outsourced team, absolutely. So we can do city, state, absolutely. You could do the city, state, and some zips. We have a bunch of zips dialed into the platform, so you can do that as well. Let's see. What's the average CPC look like for this? I've seen CPCs under a penny. Why? Because we're cutting out the middleman. There's no other person involved or competitors. See, that's the beauty about this. Like when you're dealing directly with the source, is that you don't have to deal with those competitors. This is not about competition. This is about you making sure that your ad is on point, driving that click. So if they're clicking on your ad, obviously what you got is something that you can scale. You can't scale what you don't have, right? So if your ad is not it's not driving clicks, nothing, it's not, you're not going to get anything in return. Can I use this in Canada? Absolutely, you can use this in Canada. Will there be a recording? Possibly. Possibly. I'm going to gather up with my team after this and see where we are and you know, continue from there. Can we target? Absolutely, you can target both. You can go with both. You can do a separate campaign for email and you can do a separate campaign for IDs. You can absolutely do that. So got a good questions going on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the second winner. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the second winner. So again, for the best comment, you got 50 bucks. 50 bucks paid to your account. Come on, guys. You guys got, come on. Seriously. We're all winners here. Absolutely. Everybody's a winner here. You're here. It's not like you're like others that are not here. You should be here. You just left with a bunch of great content. This training was awesome. A lot of you enjoyed it. You're here. All right. So let's go ahead and drop those comments in the chat. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the next. All right, so Tim Judge, shouting you out loud. You just won $50 toward your device ID app account. Make sure to leave those comments in the chat. Awesome, awesome. All right, so Tim Judge, you just got $50 in your account. There you go. It's that simple. Um, I see some of you are active on my side. I got another screen over here running ads already. So congrats to you, man. That's what it's about, taking action. You're not sitting around thinking about it. You guys are out there running ads. This is very easy to run. Thanks, Jennifer. I appreciate that. I mean, it is. You top up, right? Then you go into your campaigns, right? You go to ad. You follow the simple instructions, then you go into your ad group, you create an ad group for that campaign, and then you go down into your actual ad creatives. And then from there, you could do your videos, it could be your banners. Absolutely, super easy stuff. And you have the training as well. You can't lose. You can't lose here. I'm excited yeah, absolutely. You should be excited. So what's a good budget to see some results? I mean, to be completely honest, you don't need a huge budget. Like we have a huge budget going on here, but you don't need anything that strong or that huge, man. I mean, you could start off with like maybe $100. You could start with $100 and go from there and test it out. Always test. Always test your ads, man. And don't run multiple ads. Stick to one ad at first. Stick to one ad, one keyword, one ad group, one creative. Keep it simple. Absolutely. Can you target people at like an airport terminal? Absolutely. If you have their email, if you have that person's email and they're at an airport, JL, you can run ads to them. Absolutely. So it's very, because I see some of you are bringing up IP app, different concept, completely different. IP app needs a network. Like you have to be plugged into you have to be plugged into the Wi-Fi, and that lead cannot leave. That lead has to make a long story short, they have to be within the network. So they have to find an app that's connected to the network. It's a different ball game when you're dealing with device IDs. Device IDs don't require any of that. So you don't need to that like just so I'm being clear, you don't need to do any prep work or anything like that. The lead doesn't need to come into the network. You already have all of that data locked in through their device ID or through their email. So you don't really need to do anything. Can I use the IP targeting app and this together? I would use them both. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We're using both. We use all our platforms, man. We have like 5 platforms now and we use them all. Like we scale them all. We're actually thinking of a couple of things which I don't want to talk about right now. I'll talk about it later, but we have some really cool stuff planned up ahead. And we're only getting started. This is just the start of as to the direction we're heading into, and it's all about playing a little bigger at the end of the day. I'm in. Congratulations. Can I target venues if you have their emails and device IDs? You can. Or can you provide the link? Here is the link again. I'm going to drop the link in the chat for you. Remember, it's only one time, $87. That's a lifetime. And there's no monthly fees, 0 monthly fee at all. Like there's no type of hidden fee, anything. Excuse me. Yep. And let me bring myself back here because I'm over here talking like a maniac, and I don't like to disguise myself. I don't do any of that stuff, man. Sorry, I came late. Is there an upsell? No, there aren't any upsells here. No upsells at all. When is the training? The training is going to be sent out to everyone who took action on on this entire offer, the fast action bonuses, the blueprint. Forgot to mention the blueprint. The blueprint you could find in the video tutorials area, which is right here. And I'm going to show you that blueprint you really want because I dive into some deep stuff. This is my blueprint, a blueprint that I put together. It's right here. You can download it. And that's only for those of you who are here, who actually made it out to the webinar. I'm excited that I'm in. Awesome. I'm excited for you. I'm super excited for you. Can you scrape device IDs? That's not possible to do, but what you can do is you can get device IDs from apps. So if let's say you have an app for your actual business for whatever reason, I mean, to be completely honest, I would. So if you're listening on this webinar and you're watching me, create an app. Why not? Create an app. Because what you can do is you can capture those IDs. You can absolutely do that. Why not? It's a great way to do it. I'm dropping some bombs here today, guys. Like I'm just dropping all types of bombs here. Are the ads calls reasonable? Yeah, absolutely. Under 0.01 CPC, I mean, super low CPCs, CPMs are low. You just have to test, it's all about, how many people you're targeting and just sit back and measure your results. And give the system time as well. One thing I want to mention is that when you submit your ad, allow 24 to 48 hours, just because, like you want to give the system some time to process your campaign. So just give it some time there. So we're getting a lot of reseller questions, and right now built into this platform, we don't have any reseller options, but you can sell traffic to your clients. You can absolutely do that. Bring this up in the chat. I'm happy to, bring this up to my developer and see how we could do that, so we could, get you guys branded out. I know a lot of you are more interested in white labeling. So absolutely. Can we use great Facebook emails? I mean, you do that at your own, man. I mean, to be completely honest, just as long as it's compliant, follow the rules, I think you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Can I use this to market my podcast? Absolutely. You can use this to market your podcast. I would. I use this for my YouTube videos. I use this traffic for my YouTube videos and even the IP app. We use it because it's so low, the CPCs are so low that, you just send it to your videos. Might get some subscribers, get some traffic, get some likes, some comments. This is the stuff that you don't see when you see YouTube videos. A lot of the times people are thinking, oh, they're just coming from the subscribers. Yeah, right. It's coming from the traffic that you're sending to the videos. Yeah, so is there a limit on active campaigns? No, there's no limit, no limit. You don't have to pay 10 grand to run your ads like some of these guys are doing out there. You don't have to do that here. Absolutely not. So we got one more person to pick, and all I'm looking for is just the best comment. The best comment, that's it. Just so I could showcase to everyone who didn't attend. There was a lot of people that didn't come out. There was a lot of people that didn't come out. But let them know why they should be here. That's what I want you to do. Let them know why they should have came to this webinar. Let them know why they should have came to this webinar. Absolutely, because it's freaking awesome. Absolutely, because it's content filled. Because it's COVID friendly. I love it. Like you guys are, you guys are hilarious, man. Like seriously. If you don't attend, it'll cost you. Absolutely. I mean, come on. Like this is the stuff that you don't really see out there. Awesome, awesome. So we're coming up on the close to the end of the webinar. So if there's any other questions, everybody on this webinar should be signed up by this point. I already see that over 100 plus of you already signed up. So congrats. Um, I'm ready to make big bucks. Awesome. Can you please, like, look, when you start getting clicks, when you start getting those impressions, just leave it in here. Leave it in here. Leave it in this chat box, the device ID chat. Let others know. And if you need technical support, we are here to support. On the last platform, we had a lot of people coming up after us with chainsaws and everything you could, the bats, the whole thing. Come look, if you need support, we're here. Just reach us in the platform. Allow us some time. Okay, we're here. We have a pretty solid team. How we deal with our tickets is, look, we usually just complete one ticket and we move on to the next. That's it. And we handle tickets in the order that they come in. That's it. That's all it is. So if you need help, we understand that not everybody's techie. I get it. Trust me. I even get in there sometimes. I get in the responses and all that. It's me too. I'm taking part in all of this stuff, man. Absolutely. So let's pick someone. So the lucky person that we're gonna go with is Charles Thompson. Charles Thompson. Congratulations. Congratulations, Charles. You just got in. Awesome. 50 bucks. Just go ahead and leave it in the chat. And do me the favor, all three of you that I just shouted out, open a ticket and just go ahead and leave that in the chat so we can fill your account as well. All right, so if there's any other questions that you guys have, I'm more than happy to answer them. I know that some of you are listening from your phones, unfortunately, so you can't really click on the link. So what you want to do is email me at support@device ID app. Support at device ID app. That's all you have to do. Alrighty, so there you go. There's access to the link. And I just want to touch on a couple of more things. So don't forget, this is where you're going to find your blueprint, okay? And the training is going to be sent privately. I don't send that to everybody. It's sent privately. And it's going to be hosted like this on GoToWebinar. Just, covering some really good stuff on this platform. Dot tags, don't forget, this is where you, like, if you have a landing page set up, you want to put that on the header of your landing page. Put this code that you're going to see here on the landing page, okay? And that's pretty much it for, absolutely. There's the link for you. So again, this is the code that you want to put on your site right here. And when you do that, you just put it on the header. Like you'll start collecting those IDs for you to retarget. All right. Don't forget, we do allow for your ads, your creatives, you can choose to target Apple devices. So if you want to just target Apple devices alone, you can do that. If you want to do Android, you can do that. You can do your video ads as well, your banners. All right. Let's see here. Can you sell traffic? Absolutely. You can sell this traffic to your clients. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm just gonna go back to the home page here and looking forward to the review. Awesome. Awesome. So with that being said, we got about 2 minutes and I want to really make sure that I answer all of your questions. I don't want to, leave anyone out. I apologize if you can, if you just dropped the question before, copy and paste it and drop it again. I really want to make sure I answer your questions. Um, are you sure there's a one-time fee? Yeah, this is a one-time fee. There's no other. Yeah, it's one time. You could use cities, zips, and states. So you could target people in Tampa. I mean, like to be completely honest, like I'm just gonna be honest, like because this is being done for you automatically, you don't really need it. You don't really need it because this isn't about them being in our network. This is about running ads wherever they may be. So whenever they turn their phone on, whatever, it's your ad is gonna show up based on your bid, based off how you have things set up, based on what that click means to you, right? I covered a lot of these things earlier in the presentation, things you should be on the lookout for. Absolutely. Do you offer coaching? Yeah, I do a lot of coaching. If you want to find out about that, different topic, but you could go to redtornmedia.com. At the top, there's a link where you could you click, you fill out the form, and I also do 30-minute sessions as well. That's no cost, so you could definitely check that out. Where is the buy link? The buy link, I just dropped it to you there. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So with that being said, we're going to wrap this up. It's now 4 p.m. I appreciate you all coming out to this webinar. Man, you guys are amazing. We have so many people on board, as you can see here. If you're not on board and you're still thinking about this, oh man, like, I don't know what to say. Like, look, at least you got something, right? You got a lot of content, a lot of value off the webinar. Hopefully you got your notepads full with some real content, like a lot of good stuff on here, man. Like a lot of good stuff. I don't see a buy link. There you go. There's the link. Dropped a lot of good stuff. We touched on Google Ads, which is my favorite because it's the avenue that a lot of you tend to run up to, including myself. It's not a lot. It's to be completely honest, with all of these platforms that we're building, like we're pulling ourselves away from those platforms. We really don't need them like that, like we used to. But we use them when we need them. But what's important here, and hopefully you got that, is that it's important to diversify. It's important that you not only show your ad in one place, but show them in multiple places. And you may find that one avenue works good for desktop and one other avenue works good for mobile or whatever. But just diversify. So I'm not trying to discourage you. I hope I'm not giving you that vibe right now, but you could absolutely, use those other avenues and use these avenues as well. So you could work those ads. I showed you here, remember, you saw 35,000 impressions, but we had like 45 conversions. That's because sometimes people just need to see your ads a couple of times. And we found that on average, it usually would take around 2 to 3 weeks for a lead to convert for some offers, but not all offers work like that. So if I told you, yeah, give that lead 30 days, I'm not talking realistic to you. You have to measure it. When you take those measurements, you can make better decisions. Your ad looks a little different. Your link is different. Everything is different. You're tracking different. Everything is just spot on target. Everything needs to be on target, on target. So if you're having a hard time logging in, just go ahead and email me support@deviceid.app and we'll make sure to help you out. But that's pretty much it. So quickly before we head off here, if you're in, we're getting ready to sign off now. If you're in, go ahead and leave those "I'm in" the chat box before we close off this webinar, before we wrap up the week. The long wait is finally over, but like I mentioned, it was worth the wait, right? So there's a lot of you here, a lot of you that are in, Sean, Tom, Kelly, everybody, man. Congrats, Tim, all of you guys. Ireland is in the house, Canada. We have people from all over the world on the platform getting ready to target device IDs. I want to shout out my developer, AceCom, as well, our exchange partners for making this happen. If it wasn't for them, if it wasn't for my team, to be completely honest, there would be no device ID app. And look, we're not perfect. We're not perfect. And I'm super transparent about that stuff. So if you find something, you see something that could be improved, you want to see something added, we're super friendly with stuff like that. Open up a ticket, let us know so we could serve you. And that's what it's about at the end of the day. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to head out of here. You guys have an awesome rest of your day and stay tuned. We got lots more on the way. My name is Guillermo Mata. See you in a bit.